So gorgeous. Yeah, why don't you stand back up again and wave your hands and say real loud, I'm excited. Come on, stand up and stretch and say, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm ready. Yeah. Hey, you better get around me because I'm going somewhere. Tell yourself that right now. Are you ready? Yeah. Look at your neighbor and smile real big and say, I'm crazier than you are. I want you to know that right now. I hide in trees and hurt people. You don't want to mess with me. I'm a leader, man. I can make a difference in this world. Isn't that great? What a great, great night. Oh, my gosh. All about dreams and visions. Oh, man. I don't know what's true. Does the man make the dream or does the dream make the man? Does the dream make the woman or does the woman make the dream? I think they're hand in hand. Then this incredible talk on it's different than I thought. Man, if you're fortunate in life, you get 4 levels of leadership, honestly. Number 1, you get to lead yourself. And that is not very easy to do. It's not easy leading you because you have to be introspective. No personal growth will ever happen in your life without awareness. How many of you have ever worked with somebody that just has some really bad attitude and bad body language? They don't know how to walk in a room. They don't know how to walk out of a room. They don't know how to sit in a room. They're just bad, and they're not aware of it. I listen to people talk, and they're just not aware of it. I just want to say to you watching online tonight, you got to get to G5, and I'll tell you why. We have the greatest leaders in all the world in this room tonight. They're growing, they're stretching. The joy of my life is watching people overcome, rise up, reach out, become more, and stretch. It's beautiful. And I'm watching you all right now just lead yourself. I'm watching in the locker room, men stand up. The little boy is sitting down and the man is standing up. I'm watching you ladies in Girl Talk. Man, you are just exploding on the inside. You're growing. You're leaving your past behind. We just cleaned out our pods here. We're getting rid of these mini mobile things. And they were telling me they found a bunch of snakes. There's snakes amongst us. This is a ranch, right? And it's crazy, but when we used to have a barn out here where cattle and horses were in, and when my wife cleaned out the stalls, oh yeah. Yeah, I was off somewhere around the globe and she was cleaning stalls. I love the fact that she's not too good to do whatever it takes. It's powerful. But they found tons and tons of snake skins. How many of you know sometimes we got to step out of our old skin and step into the new you, that you can be a difference in this world. And there's not an age beginning and not an age ending. It's right now. You know what? When our children were small, I never talked to them like they were little children. I spoke to them like they were adults. I spoke with love and compassion and kindness and gentleness and firmness. If you're going to be a leader of children, can I tell you, stop talking to them like they're little tiny little nothings. If you treat them like they're tiny little nothings, they become tiny little nothings. If you treat them like they're giants and they're warriors and you speak up to them, you'll change their life forever. You ever get around somebody and talks to a child, oh, how are you? I'm going to tell you how you're going to be in about 3 seconds if the old me comes out. Why don't you talk to them and say, I'm so proud of you. You'd be amazed. Children will rise to the level of expectation, love, and respect that you show them. I apologized to my son one day in front of my friend Carlos Wood. He looked at me. My son was 4 years old. I apologized to him. I said, Blake, I'm so sorry. Daddy made a mistake. Please forgive me. And he later pulled me off the side and he said, what did you just do? I said, I apologized to my son. He said, I've never seen that done. He said, why would you ever apologize to your son? I said, because I want my son to learn how to apologize when he's wrong. And apologizing doesn't make you smaller. It actually makes you bigger. It doesn't make you weaker. It actually makes you stronger. Lead yourself well. We're going to raise leaders here that are going to change the world, and you're already on your way. And I'm so proud of you, watching you grow and stretch. Look at you crazy people out here at G5 on a Wednesday night when I know most of you, it took you an hour and a half to get here. It's amazing. People will drive 3 hours to get here, and I can't get somebody to drive 10 minutes down the road. Oh yeah, I came heavy tonight. Is that all right? Yeah, I'm all in right now. Anybody as fired up as I am? Yeah. Now, I'm not fired up because I've had a great day. Did you hear me? I've actually had some really big stuff I've had to deal with today. But my circumstances don't control me. My heart controls me, and my expectation controls me, and that's a sign of maturity, and that's called leading yourself well. The second level of leadership, just real quickly, is I get to lead my family. That's the hardest leadership you will ever do in your life. Ever do in your life. The reason I have been so effective as a leader in my home is because my wife, in my presence, and when I wasn't there, she edified me. She absolutely decided we were going to have a biblical marriage. A divided house will never stand. Can I tell you this? One of the greatest desires of my heart and my family is that I would earn their respect, not by what I say or what I know or even what I do, but because I earn their respect every day. Love is automatically given, trust is extended, and respect is earned. It's my great honor. See, most people see somebody and they see you growing, and you don't understand how big this church really is. You think it's the size of this room and the outside. You think it's the people that come here. No, it's way bigger than that. I got a buddy right over here right now. His name is David. He's one of my dearest friends in all the world. Wave at us, David. Right there he is. Right there he is. That's him. That's him. He feeds me more information. My email will be jam-packed with information. You say, how in the world do you know all this stuff? Thank you for asking. I steal everything I know, but I only steal from the best. Can I get an amen? And how many of you know copycat is okay if you copy the right cat? See, what I can tell you tonight, some of y'all think you got to know it all. You don't have to know it all. You got to know somebody that knows something you don't know that will pour into your life. And you won't go, well, I'm not going to pay attention to that. They just don't understand me. Oh, yes, they do. Oh, yes, they do. And they've had to overcome just like you're having to overcome. There's not a leader in this world that has not had to overcome something. And I'm going to tell you something right now. Look around the room. Everybody in this room right now is overcoming something. You're overcoming something. Lead your family. If you don't know how to do it, get around somebody that can help you. At first, they'll make you mad. At first, they'll tick you off. At first, you'll be going like, well, I just don't belong there. Yes, you do. If it's comfortable where you go, you're not in the right place. A growth environment is never comfortable. Can I get a yeah? That's right. I mean, I don't like to get around people that may go, oh, man, I probably need to adjust that a little bit. Can I get an amen? You ever get around somebody that's got a really great attitude and it irritates you? If that's true, can I just say, yeah, that's true? See, that tells me I've got to grow, because if your great attitude irritates me, it means I got a sucky attitude that needs to be adjusted. Can I get a hey? All right, well, I'm probably lost about 10 of you already, but it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. Hey, if you get this stuff, it's going to change your life. The third leadership is I get to lead others. And by the way, Bree is talking to Pierce, and it's so great that Pierce can hear my daughter talk to him. But it's even better that Pierce gets to watch my daughter live this out. See, the reason she can say, honor your father and mother, is because she honors her father and mother. How many of you know great teaching with bad example leads to really bad things? It's like a parent that says, don't do as I do as I say. Leading others. It's a big responsibility. The fourth level of leadership is when I get to lead leaders. I get to pour into leaders. Okay. So now I want to talk to you what I want to talk to you about. Are you ready? You're going to have writer's cramp. Your hands are going to be hurting. I'm just telling you right now. Are you ready? If you're taking notes, and I hope you are, because in order to have a noteworthy life, you have to take notes. While my daughter was taking, I've got notes. I've got notes on my son's talk, and I happen to know my wife's talk because I helped her write the book. You need this book. Well, how much does it cost? I wouldn't even ask that question. I'd go, I'm going to make an investment in myself, and I'm going to get better, and I'm going to grow, because here's what I can tell you right now with 100% sure. Right now, God is having you listen to this tonight because he's preparing you for your next assignment, and he's equipping you to do what you need to do. I promise you. Attitude is really, really important. So let me talk to you for a second about influence. How many of you have ever had somebody in your life that was just a powerful influence? Their life really made a difference. Right now, you know, I'm not trying to bring up pain, but Kelsey's grandmother passed away. And when Josh and I had a conversation, I could see the look in his eye of the respect he had for this woman. You never forget somebody that loves you, and you never forget somebody that encourages you. You never forget somebody that sees in you what you hope people will see in you. Gosh, I just said a mouthful. So in your life right now, I want to talk to you about 10 qualities, positive qualities that influences others. So as much as you can have somebody that is a positive influence in your life, you can have somebody that's a very negative influence in your life. I had a guy come to church a while ago, and he brought somebody with him, and later he texts me and he says, my wife doesn't really like me being around this person. And I'm going, I am not touching that. Do you understand what I'm saying? But there's a reason, because she probably thinks this man is not a good influence on her husband. Remember this, he who walks with the wise becomes wise, but he who runs with fools suffer harm. It doesn't say if you hang out with a fool, you're going to become a fool. It says you will eventually suffer the harm that a fool will cause in your life. That's why we teach young people, be careful who you hang around. Be careful what's on your social media. Be careful what's going on inside of your life. So, what are some really incredible things you can do to have greater influence in your life? By the way, I think you should desire to have a positive influence in people's lives. And I'm amazed at how people who are sometimes in very unseen places have the greatest encouragement. You know, I introduced you to my friend David. You don't see him here. He works, and he can't get here. But ever since I've known him, every time I get around him, he encourages me. He also feeds me. He is an incredible, positive influence in my life. Number one, if you're going to have a massive impact and influence others, number one, I want to encourage you to have extraordinary hunger. Extraordinary hunger. When you get around a leader that has influence, you're going to see that they're hungry to learn, to grow, to change. They're very quick to change. When they see the truth, they accept the truth, and they change. Why? Because they do not want anything to cost them the results that they could have if they can get out of the way. I have a theory that once you remove the dysfunction out of anything, growth is automatic. If there is dysfunction outside, stay with me, this is so good. If there's dysfunction outside, it's because there's dysfunction on the inside. And you've got to go inside in order to get the outside corrected. Are you okay? That's why all growth is inside out. Now, can I give you some scary statistics? If two young adults, age 20, one was raised in an environment that was strong on leadership and values and virtues, attitude, people skills, thinking skills, and one was raised where that did not take place, a divided home, an unspiritual home. It takes 8 years for this person to catch up to this person if this person stops growing. Now, I just got to tell you, can I just talk to you out of my heart tonight? I never want my family to have to get around someone else to encourage them, grow them, build them, and help them become what they can be. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. When your heart is shaped and you're hungry, where you are humble, but you also understand honor and heart, and you understand hustle. If you understand that as a leader, if you're going to have any impact and any influence on somebody's life, hunger and drive set a leader apart from a follower. I'm going to say that one more time. Hunger and drive set a leader apart from a follower. Leaders have this insatiable, this overwhelming hunger to make something happen. You can watch leaders when they walk in. Leaders really show themselves very quickly because they'll roll their sleeves up and get busy while followers will try to hide. I'm going to tell you this right now. If you will stay with us this year, you're going to get more than one promotion on your job. Is that okay? Do you know why? You're going to grow. Here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to take this information and put your thinking on it. You want to think, but you want to think how you can implement hunger and drive. Do you know what most people are trying to do right now? They're trying to figure out how they can do as little as they can to get as much as they can. Let me tell you what I've tried to live in front of my family. That whether I was in front of 80,000 people or 25 people, I'm going to give everything I've got. And I prepare almost harder for 25 than I do 80,000 because truthfully, it's easier to speak in front of 80,000 people than it is 25. All right, we're good. So I want to ask you, do you have a hunger where you work, on your job, in your home, to make something happen? They're not waiting for somebody to tell them. They're creative and saying, we can do this. Now, I can start this and I'm going to get in trouble because G5, we have so many leaders that right now you understand our values, and that is make it better. But I will just tell you, TJ showed up with his family. We've been talking about hanging speakers, haven't we, Seth, forever? And we didn't have the expertise. If I'd have hung those speakers, they would have fell on Sunday morning. You would have thought it was the power of God falling because the speakers would have fallen down. And I went to him 3 or 4 times. I'm so sorry. I'm not being disrespectful. I was going, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you 100% sure? Because I wanted to know if the man believed what he thought he really believed. You know what I'm talking about? How many of you know it's okay to question somebody to see if they really believe what they believe? Here's what I can tell you, though. A leader will take action. And if you will take action, God will start bringing the people to you that will take action with you with the right heart, the right mind, and the right spirit. This drive that's in a leader is the force that makes them unstoppable. They discover how to influence people and the culture that is around them. And let me just pause for a second and tell you what that means. That means that PT, everywhere I go, my home, when I come home, if I'm here, if I'm walking from the car, wherever I am, I'm constantly thinking, how does my body language and words affect people around me? That's what leaders do. Because they know beyond the shadow of a doubt, they have influence. How many of you got people that they say they're coming and they don't come? How many of you got people that make promises? How many of you go to work and people will let you do everything they need to do plus what you do and act like they're doing you a favor? I'm preaching better than I'm getting right now. If you study great leaders in history, you will see they get their hunger from various places, but often it comes from something that was missing in their lives. We had 88,000 at-risk kids. I cannot tell you how many kids, when I would ask them, what do you want to be when you grow up? How many of them wanted to be what they never had? Wow. If you study great leadership, they want something that was missing in their lives. You'll also find their willingness to confront what has kind of been the norms. They're not afraid to ask, why do we do it that way? They're willing to attack status quo and not conform to it. You see, so many of us, instead of changing the dysfunction of yesterday, we're repeating it. Zig Ziglar used to tell a story about one day he walked into the kitchen and he asked his wife, who was putting a ham in the oven for Easter, and said to her, why do you cut the ends off of it? She said, because my mom did. He called her mom and said, Mom, why do you cut the ends off the ham? She said, because my mom did. They called the grandmother and found out the reason she cut the ends off the ham was because her oven was too small. Sometimes you need to slow down enough and ask yourself, why am I cutting the ends off the ham? And challenge, people always come here now. By the way, can I tell you what's going on here at G5? This is so cool. We have mega churches coming here now to study our processes. How cool is that? Because they know that we're not stuck in a box that says this is how we've always done it, and this is how it's always been done, and this is the spiritual way to do it. No, we're out of it. Why? Because when you wake up tomorrow morning, know this, the world is a different place than when you went to sleep. It's moving. Number 2, be exceptional at what you do. Be exceptional at what you do and have a compelling vision. Be exceptional and compelling in your vision. I'm not going to give you all these, so don't worry, okay? We'll get the rest of it. I need you to hear this right now, and I need you to write it down. Please, dads, men, ladies, small visions have no power to inspire or move people. Small visions have no power to inspire or move people. I used to have an organization that was in 180 nations, and we took a holistic approach at touching lives. And I got to tell you, I'm so grateful. Orlando's in this room. God brought him. Oh my gosh, what a gift you are. And he works with the homeless with Jesse and a lot of you others. Junior, I know you and Heidi and a lot of you. Becky just cooked all day Saturday to take the food out. And I'm wanting to right now. Could I cast some vision with you? I want to buy a deep freezer and I want to stack it full of food. So if you guys need food, you can just call me up and I can go, hey. Raviola on its way. How many of you know that's a vision, right? But I would go into these nations and I would do more than just feed, because how many of you know you can give somebody food, but if you teach them how to get it. And I got to remind you, in leadership, the Bible says the poor will always be with you. So in your life right now, you've just got to ask, how do I get better at influencing others? And the way I get better is I get a greater hunger and I get an exceptional, compelling vision. Instead of just influencing others, you'll be fighting. Listen, small visions have no power to inspire or move people. Instead of influencing others, you'll be fighting for their attention. Wow. If you want to unlock an extraordinary life, you have to have big dreams. My son talked about it. That's why right now, I don't think Pierce has to be 30 years old before he can start dreaming big. I think he could begin to dream right now, and I want to start an entrepreneurial think tank for young guys just like him and other young men in this place and women, that they can get around people that have already succeeded that they can ask questions to. How cool would that be, huh? Yeah, and God's bringing them. God's bringing these leaders. So you got to have big dreams. This is why great leaders always have visions that are larger than themselves. I want to stop right now and ask you a question. Every leader here, is your vision just what you know and what you do? Or is your vision the bigger vision? If you get the bigger vision, you'll understand your role way better. You have no idea how big that is. When most people go to solve a problem, they actually grow it. Anytime a leader will go around another leader, you cause a problem because you weaken the leadership of that person. Now, I will also tell you this, if you're a weak leader with a low commitment, people will go around you to get to the people with the bigger vision and the bigger commitment. I want to be that guy. Trying to influence others to support a self-serving goal is a mistake that many leaders make. Remember that yielding influence is very powerful, and it's only to be used to influence change for a better good. If you use it selfishly for your own purpose, those who you are leading will sense that. Okay, this is so deep. I just need to give it a moment, and I know your minds are already full. But if you can write that down and look at that later, I would really, really appreciate it. Those around you will sense that you're wanting to be validated and elevated for your own good. My buddy Lloyd's, his wife, planted flowers. You see how beautiful they are? She did it in secret. She didn't want anybody to see it. And I loved it, Lloyd's, because she grabbed you to come and help her accomplish the dream. It's amazing what we men do for women, isn't it? I mean, it's just like the craziest thing I've ever seen. So if you really want to stand out and influence others, your vision needs to capture and grab their hearts, their minds, their energy, their emotion, and you've got to be able to grab a significant number. If you see it too small, you'll touch it too small. If you see your wife too small, if you see your husband too small, you won't respect them, you won't honor them. When I got around Gay, I saw in her It almost scared me what I saw. And by the way, she's doing so much. It's amazing. We haven't even scratched the capacity that this woman has. And I knew you were going to be like, oh no, man. No, I'm telling you. She's written 16 books. She speaks. It's amazing what God's doing, what she does around here. Our children will tell you how much she works. By the way, it's a joke in our family, and I believe in the Bible, so hear me, okay? And I believe that you're supposed to remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. But if you were around our home, it's not uncommon that we're working 16, 18 hours a day. If we're not working in it, we're working on it. And some of you need to take some time and work on your vision and not just work in it. So if you want to stand out, grab it. It must be the vision of how life can be made better for a group of people. Everyone's life gets better because we do what we do. That's what a servant leader does at G5 Church. You absolutely raise the temperature and the bar and the experience for every customer that comes through that door. Yeah, people that come to church here are customers. And we get to provide them the service that we want them to feel. Not only do we want to provide service for the customers that come through the door, but we want to provide service to the servant leader that's here. How many of you know not every day of your life, everything's going to go good in your life, and you may need a little bit of direction in your life? I just want to encourage you. Bring their resources to the table and contribute energy to achieve the vision. You have to be specific with your purpose and drawn to help to reach your goal. They in turn will influence others to help as well. This is what we're looking for right now, is that somebody that comes here that serves will reach out to people that are around them and say, the experience has so radically changed my life. Will you come and serve with me? Connor Wallace was here last night. He wants to start a locker room in Palm Beach. And he said to me, can I talk to some guys? I said, you can talk to any man here that's ever gone to a locker room. Just go ask him. And he came back and he went, oh my goodness. He had a moment with you that radically changed his life. He said, it's so great to see another young man who wants to know God as deep as I do and wants to grow as a leader. So we've got to get rid of the old and put on the new. Can I give you one more just real quick, and then we'll finish? 3, if you want to have influence in your life, you have to have absolute certainty. A leader always has the faith and has an absolute core belief that they can bring their vision to life. Matter of fact, when we're talking about move that wall, I'd like to see if we can get a sign and just hang it up there that says, move that wall. And how many of you know God's going to help us move that wall? God's going to help us. Matter of fact, God's going to help us do so many things. Hey, guess what we're doing? We're getting light up digital signs so that all these cars going past will see when our service times are and they can come. Hey, around the world, I got anybody out there right now that'd like to send $2,000 so I can pay for those signs? So can I tell you something else? We haven't got a permit here yet to build on and build bathrooms and do everything. So we have to bring these portable ones in. We've been renting them for 2 years. We've got $50,000 wrapped up in renting bathrooms. They called me today and said, hey, you can buy them for $66,000. Well, can I tell you, we're going to need these things because we're going to have events going on all over this cotton picking property and lives are going to be changed. And I just said, you know what? God's given me the faith to believe that his people are going to pour in and we're going to be able to pay these bathrooms off and we're going to be able to move forwards. They're going to be air conditioned and nice and fresh. Ladies, you're going to love it. They're going to be gorgeous. It's going to be beautiful. We're going to build a canopy over so the rain and the sun doesn't hit them. We're going to have the classiest bathrooms in Davenport. I'm just telling you right now, I'm so fired up about it. And you know what? It's a lot of money, but how many of you know I'd rather go 2 years from now and have something that we own than give that money away? And so right now, we're just going, Lord, give us creative finances, and you're going to help us do it. Would you put your faith with my faith with absolute certainty that my God shall supply all of my need? And by the way, I'm believing God for that in your life, and he's going to do it. The true power in belief and influencing others always starts with conviction. Conviction. Certainty is what shapes human beings. Is one of our 6 human needs. Did you know that? Certainty is so crucial. It's a component in how to influence people. Do you walk in confidence? It shall be done. You can count on me. Anybody own a company that people work for you that you struggle believing their word? When trust is broken, it takes a long time to repair. So I just want to encourage you. Uncertainty, doubt, fear are the biggest impediments to influencing others. I'm going to say that again. Uncertainty, doubt, fear are the biggest impediments to influencing others. Truly influential people understand that fear of not following their vision is greater than any fear associated with it of moving forward. Oh my goodness. Leaders understand that not following their vision is greater than any fear associated with moving forwards. If you ask me, Tim, do you have any nerves about anything? Yeah, it's not obeying God. And it's not moving when he says to move. And it's trying to keep others down in order for me to stay comfortable in my skin. Let me tell you what God's going to do for you, and he's going to do it for us here. Are you ready? He is going to bring people into your life that are going to bless you and multiply you. He already has it established. All you've got to do is have the courage to step into it. And I want you to know, when your hunger destroys their fear. Did you hear me? When your hunger, your desire, the proof of desire is pursuit. And if you right now are going, I am hungry, I'm going to have a family, I'm going to have a marriage, I'm going to have finances, I'm going to walk in health, I'm going to walk in power, I'm going to walk forward in victory, we're going to watch God do this thing. And by the way, Sunday morning, get ready. We're getting ready to put a list of needs that we have here in our technical department, because we're going to go to a whole nother level. I don't know if you've experienced it or not, but when you walk in here and worship is going on, it sounds like a cotton-picking stereo. You can't even believe it's live music. We fought 10 years for that. Do you realize that? Where we're going is going to be cray-cray. It's going to be cray-cray. The world's going to walk through those doors and go, you Christians know excellence. And let me tell you, it's more than money, it's heart. We get way more out of everything that we've got going on than everybody else gets. Do you know why? We've got giant hearts that are making a difference, because you know what? We know that our actions and our heart makes all the difference. Is that true in your company? Is that true where you work? Is that true who you are when you walk into where you are? Do you know that you're called by God to walk into every area of your life and to serve and dominate? Not to control, not to manipulate, not to become a victim, not to say, look at me, but just through your example and your influence, you're showing who Jesus really is. If you really think about the greatest leaders, and I close, their passion is infectious. Their passion is infectious. You've never seen an incredible leader say to their team, I'm not sure we can do this. Maybe I'm not the right person for the job. An incredible leader engages those around them by acting in complete faith. You can count on me. You can count on me. We got this. I'll remember when others forget. I'll do when other people let go. I will serve when it's not convenient for me. They use their fear to push them even harder, and the conviction is their key to influencing others. We together are going to make it happen. I want you to understand you're already a person of influence. I want you to know that you're a person that is already making a massive difference. If I can, with God's help, cut through the noise of your mind and the past way that you've been trained to think, to start thinking the way that God thinks, renew in me, you get ready for what God can do. Do you know most of us are shaped in our thinking by a lie? A lie that says you can't, you're not enough. All I'm trained at is this. Let me tell you what's going on in corporate America. They no longer are hiring from big college schools. They're going and finding workers who can think creatively, and they're putting them in the field because they want fresh ideas and fresh thinking, not old training. Can I ask you a question? Just me and you, and I close. If I could help you change your perspective on your life right now, on your gift, on where you are, what would you do? You know, I have the privilege, I work here on the ranch, and Bob comes through every other day or sometimes every day on his bike, 81 years old, pedaling his legs off. And I just look at my wife and I go, that's my future. He's still got big dreams. Don't ever let him get you cornered and have him start telling you about his dreams, because you'll be there 2 hours. I'm telling you right now, I want to write a book. I got a book. And every now and then he'll, hey, PT, I got this challenge. And he's a student at 81 years old. And he goes, how should I handle this? And I'm just going, yeah. And he goes, oh, you have no idea how much you've helped me. And he's off and he's peddling again, And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm going to start calling you the peddler, man. It's just amazing. But I looked at my wife and I said, that's me. Can you imagine your next 40 years? You see, here's what we got to do, okay? I'm going to embarrass my, what are you to me, a nephew? Here's what I can tell you. I have no idea what you are. I'm sorry. I know your brother's your father. My brother's your father. Anyhow, here's what I can tell you. Nobody said you had to be smart. Hey, I killed this thing with passion, okay? I'm telling you right now. Yeah, low IQ and high passion, all right? But can you imagine with me right now, in 10 years from now, where this young man can be? If he'll stay humble, if he'll walk highly before God, if he'll get the right mentors in life, if he'll stay away from this world and the garbage that it does, can I tell you what's going to happen? It's going to blow his mind. I'm telling you, you don't know in this room, there is an anointing being released. Come on, you got to get here. Because God has got big, big plans for every one of our lives. He's not done with you yet. He's just getting started. I love you more than you know. Get out of here and go get some sleep, okay? I love you more than you know. I'm sorry, nephew. Please forgive me.